Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope you guys are having a good day, y'all. We got one of the greatest TikTok compilations you're gonna see on YouTube. Yeah, I know there's tons of them, but there ain't none like these over here with the K fam, y'all. So let's have some fun today. Let's get into it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
My name is Matthew Brown. From 2018 to 2025, I served as a national security contractor supporting the Department of War and the Department of State. In these roles, I was entrusted with our nation's most sensitive intelligence at every level of classification, along with operations designed to counter our adversaries' most destructive capabilities. Beginning in 2023, I provided sensitive information to Senate and House members regarding unidentified anomalous phenomena, technologies of unknown origin, and non-human intelligence. I also authored the document known as the Immaculate Constellation Report, the public version of which details evidence of long-standing United States government awareness of these subjects. The American people in Congress have not heard the whole truth because secrecy agreements and active threats prevent me from speaking freely. Mr. President, I respectfully ask that you release me from all relevant secrecy and non-disclosure obligations and protect my family from those who wish to harm me for telling the American people the truth. We are not alone.
I was taught to leave an hour before the devil appeared. So you're about to see me on my way out.
Part of the ritual, we gotta dye hair, act the way we act.
Nelly did the same thing.
Sucks.
They wanted Nelly's daughters or his sons. Nelly didn't want to give up none of his sons or daughter, but he gave up his bodyguard. And if y'all want to Google that, it didn't make headlines, but we knew in the Lou what was happening. Nelly's bodyguard got shot in the head maybe a year or two ago, but that was a sacrifice. Nelly sacrificed his bodyguard, and his bodyguard was like family. See what I'm saying?
Here's a conspiracy.
I wouldn't put it past him because I want to make a long story short. There's a DMX interview saying that, if he wanted to get a Grammy, he had to perform next to Jay-Z and kind of be his hype man. He's like, no, I want my own spot, whatever. Nelly ended up doing it and got his Grammy, y'all. People do anything for that fame.
Theory that you must be aware of that floats around about you.
Yeah.
And again, forgive me for this, but I must know. On your back, you have a tattoo of the Finger Lakes.
Yeah.
And people say that this is tattooed on your back because the Finger Lakes are apparently one of the number one ways that humans are trafficked. And that you have placed. You didn't know this? No. Please, can we talk? Oh my God!
Oh man,
you don't go online.
Great.
You don't go. Pull up Hunter Biden Finger Lakes tattoo.
Is that
Finger
why
Lake?
everybody's asking me what's the tattoo?
Yes.
What's a Finger
They
Lake?
think that you have a human trafficking map.
I do. So the Finger Lakes are these glacier lakes, the most beautiful lakes in the country, and they are in upstate New York. My deceased mother, came from Skinny Atlas, New York. And then the lake next to it is Owasco Lake. And at the top of Owasco Lake is a town named Auburn, where the Hunter Diner is. And my grandfather and my grandmother owned and ran the Hunter Diner, which is still there. It's just like a silver diner. And that's where my mother grew up, and that's where my brother and I spent every summer with my mom, my deceased mother's grandparents. And so it's like the most special place in the world to me.
Right,
is the Finger Lakes.
what you're saying,
And I was
Not what I'm saying.
what the
Adam-
internet is saying,
What the
what
internet
you've read.
is. What I've read.
okay. I don't understand where you traffic because they're all landlocked. Where do you traffic?
Look
them
up
to?
Finger Lakes
By
human
canoe.
trafficking.
I've never heard of that.
Don't. Come, it's such a beautiful place. What are you going to do this for?
Finger Lakes human
Oh my
trafficking.
God! I'm
We're
serious.
gonna look deeper into that.
Y'all want
Next
me to send
video.
y'all down another rabbit hole with these damn license plate reader technology?
Write it down.
I'm telling y'all, Flock is the distraction. I'm telling you,
Finger Lake.
automatic license plate reader technology has been around for over 15 years, bro. Okay? They mount them on power poles that sit up high like that. They mount them on, they put them near the weigh stations. The semi-truck CNV weigh stations, they put them near the weigh stations, bro. Let me provide you with some screenshots of just how many automatic license plate reader technologies you have passed without knowing it. The flock cameras are the distraction, bro. Motorola Solutions, Axon, Leonardo, all these people have been putting license plate reader technology up for years, bro. I'm talking at least the last 10 years. Flock is the distraction. Don't fixate on flock cameras. Fixate on the technology as a whole.
I mean, I like it's why are we making such a big deal about it when they track us? Like I watch, like I say, so much police cams and they catch them with this, y'all. They ping it. They do all these things. They don't even use the cameras on the street. They use people's Ring cameras that see them leaving neighborhoods and whatnot. But like somebody made a point that that's for when it's over, kind of like The Last of Us when they watch the zombies up there and they have a booby trap and they're all down there laughing at us. We hit their booby trap. You know what I mean? Damn on that. It's still not right. I'm not saying I support them, but you know, we got those on our phones.
If you really want to freak out, truck drivers actually have it worse, because if you get pulled into the weigh station, like you got to come off the interstate, when you get to the part of the ramp that you got to slow down to like 10 or 30 miles an hour, when we get inside that part right there, not only does it take a picture of the license plate, it takes a picture of our face.
Yeah.
Like, because it's commerce. It's not private travel. It's literally commerce. CMV, commercial motor vehicle, bro. So if you drive trucks, you can't really pitch too much of a fit about damn license plate reader tape, because that shit ain't just taking a picture of your license plate, it's taking a picture of the whole front of your damn vehicle through your windshield. And we actually get flashed. Like, so if you have epilepsy or whatever it is that makes you sensitive to light flashes, that's why they say you can't drive trucks if you got that sensitivity, bro, because light flashes, you can't get on the Tower of Terror in Disney World or any of those types of rides, or the rock and roller coaster before they change that shit, because they flashes.
In the 8th grade, my 8th grade teacher, I walked into my class and the door was open and I heard them say my name, and I sat out of that door and I listened to my entire class,
I've been here
teacher
before,
included, have a full conversation collectively being ran by my teacher about how they were going to black sheep me. Like, it was not about their love for me. They never once said they loved me. It was specifically about black sheeping me. That's like a programming thing, really. I walked into that class, I sat in there super pissed off, and I was pissed off for the rest of my life because I just felt, dude, it's just, when you know witchcraft and manipulation, these things started making sense after.
been there. This guy's so cool and calm about it, y'all. That's a drone looking to kill somebody.
That's what I'm talking about.
Fuck that, I'm out of there.
Wait.
I mean, is he wrong?
All right, this is going to sound
crazy. Oh, here it is, right here.
People are saying flock cameras are to make the country a surveillance state, but I don't think so. Because it's been a surveillance state for over a decade. Your phone is a tracking device. Your smart TV knows your name. Your fridge and half your other appliances are listening to everything you say. Your fingerprint unlocks your iPad. Your face unlocks your iPhone. Alexa, Google, Grok, they all know everything about you and your family and your friends. You've been surveilled for years. They already know everything. So what are flock cameras for? I think it's so that they can watch like some weird Hunger Games reality show while we all turn on each other and society collapses. Just think about it. They force vaccines and turn men into women and woke-wash the kids and brainwash with the news and start wars and raise inflation and cause chaos. It's black versus white, it's left versus right, it's straight versus gay, it's and then they put up cameras everywhere so they can watch the hit the fan from their underground bunkers or their private islands with their perverted billionaire buddies. I don't know. I know it sounds crazy, but just think about it. Have a good one.
Some of y'all need to start pulling your head out of the sand and take those blinders off. And really start looking into these cameras. And really start asking yourself, why do they need this kind of surveillance now? After all these years of having all this access to us. Why these cameras now?
I mean, out of nowhere, right? Out of nowhere, these cameras, these data centers, electricity bills, like we really got to look into this, y'all, because it's overnight. It's overnight.
Went in this room where majority of niggas was in there. I thought they was getting high, but they was freaking and shit. And called them like, I had came out the room and said, called them, what the fuck you doing in there? He said, oh, we forgot the key, country. You got to go take one for the team. I'm like, take one for the fucking team? What the fuck y'all talking about? They said, oh, yeah, that room you just went in. That's why we were laughing hard to hear when you was going in there. Because, them facts, you know what I'm saying? Them niggas over there, they on some old shit. You know what I'm saying? So they like, so for us to get this TV show, me, you, or Paul got to go in there. One of us got to go in there and take one for the team. So we.
If you learn, it's like, yo, G, I got to shake these niggas.
In the bed next to this undressed man who was very famous.
Hayden Panettiere has died today, just 3 months after exposing a disturbing experience involving Hollywood's hidden rules. Earlier this year, Hayden revealed what happened to her when she was only 18 and her career was becoming more successful. She said she was on a boat when a woman she deeply trusted and saw as a protector took her downstairs into a small room. The woman then physically put Hayden into a bed next to an undressed man. Hayden described him only as a very famous man and never revealed his identity. Hayden immediately realized something was wrong. She refused to stay, ran out of the room, and hid somewhere on the boat. Because they were out at sea, she had no simple way to leave. 3 months after she publicly shared that experience, Hayden has now died at only 36 years old. Her representative confirmed her death, but her cause of death has not been released. Reports also claim Hayden had recently left Los Angeles with her on-and-off boyfriend, Brian Hickerson. Police reportedly responded to an incident involving her shortly before her death, and an investigation remains open. The timing has quickly caused discussion online. Many people are now asking again who the famous man was and why Hayden never revealed his name. What do you think?
Hold up.
I mean, like, how many of these are we going to see and still continue to support Hollywood? Like, people are coming out exposing it. They're getting off a month after they expose it, like, continuously. Oh, every month, every other month, one of them, heart attacks, overdose, child stars. Look at this next one, Beyonce. Like, it's just, how long are we going to keep supporting this?
Second, guys, that's not the queen of pop looking very confident.
Look at this guy she's with.
Watch this video.
All right, here we go. Come on over here.
Look at him.
Here, you can do. You want to sit up? You want to make this easier? You can sit on my lap. Michael. Michael. Hi. Okay, Okay. All right, we're in the studio.
Well, it just shows you it doesn't matter how big you become and who you are. We've all got to start somewhere. Now, we all know that this person is major and wouldn't have to do anything like this now. But why is she sat on that man's lap? She was 19 at the time. Look at the state of this guy. Ironically, she was on the phone to the king of pop at the time, if you know who that is. And it's almost like for him making that phone call, she sat on his knee. Weird stuff. I'm sure Jay won't be happy about this video coming out. But you gotta do what you gotta do to make it in this game, don't you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Good morning, America. So we are now on day 6, no power in Gary, Indiana. Yes, my grandmother still has a tree on her roof because her insurance said they are not going to cover a natural disaster. Yes, it is steadily raining every day, and rain is pouring into my grandmother's house. Yes. Now, let's address some of the rumors going around Gary. It is in fact true that in Highland, Indiana, a Caucasian woman approached road workers trying to assist, and with her weapon, and brandized her weapon, and told him to get out of there. And nothing was done. Nobody cared. And then mysteriously, a NIPSCO truck, an empty truck, was shot at. And the violence has begun. They have unfortunately began breaking in homes and cars. So please, lock all your stuff up. And then they keep on trying to put it up on one group. You know, all colors live up there. But let's not make this a black and white thing, yellow, purple thing. Let's just all stand together. Those of you in Portage and Valpo and Dyer and Hammond and East Chicago, all of you groups that have come together and helped your community, can you all please now group together and come to our communities and help us? Just like y'all just grouped together and got all y'all's done, y'all could just group together and come help us out a little bit. Because we're the community, right?
I really feel like this country keeps you sick on purpose. I just went to Colombia and I ate the KFC, the McDonald's and everything, and it was so fresh. It felt like they just cut the chicken in the back. It was so good that when I came back to America, like I craved it. It was terrible. It tastes like plastic. And then it made me, you know, take a big shit. Like it's like, oh, I forgot why I haven't ate KFC in a long time. Like it makes me shit, but it didn't make me shit in Colombia. It got me sick. And it's just like, yo, this country is keeping us sick.
Hayden Panettiere just died at the age of 36, and something about this just does not feel right. And I don't want to make conspiracy theories about something like this, but it's kind of hard not to when just 3 weeks ago, she went on one of the biggest podcasts in the world, Jay Shetty, and she talked about a lot of the things that she went through. Part of that was the dark side of Hollywood. She explained this story where someone she trusted very closely at the time, they went on a yacht. She took her on a yacht, and this woman took her inside of a room, and there was a man there, a man she said people know very well. She didn't disclose his name. He wanted her to do things, and just take a look at this clip.
You write about a moment in your career where a friend of yours takes you onto a boat. You're led to a room which has an older man in it, and then basically told to perform sexual acts and, you know.
Oh, yeah. Perspective completely shifted, and I realized that I was in danger. But by the time I'd realized I was in danger, I was quite literally out to sea. And it was that that moment shook me and was shocking. And I was quite literally walked down, and I had been having a great time. There was no hints of anything like that happening. So it took me, I was shocked. It took me by surprise. And it was led by somebody that I had grown to trust and see as a protector and somebody who had my back. And to be walked down, down the stairs, and it was as like a surprise, presented as though it was like a surprise. And it was this very small room, and she physically put me in the bed next to this undressed man who was very famous and had his hands like this, like this was just, an average day for him. This is something that happens all the time. And I waited for her to leave. And I mean, that lion in me, that fire in me, that my hair stood on end, and I became ferocious. I was like, this is not happening. But I had nowhere to hide. And I bolted, and I hid wherever I could think of to hide on a boat. There was no jumping off and swimming away, and there was nobody who was I realized that there was nobody who was going to be empathetic to my situation, that this was nothing new to them.
I wonder when her career kind of took that nosedive. Was it around that time when she was 18 years old, right? How much movies after that she got? So imagine all these big movie stars that continuously get banger after banger after banger, right? Hollywood's kind of dying and is moving into streaming and YouTube now. But, all those movies that came out, all those top actors, what they did to get there, right? And she didn't name the name because this guy's still in the business doing these things. She still, I don't know, did she get off? Did she just have a heart attack at 36? She looked healthy. She didn't look like, she had bad diet. I don't know. Was it in her genetics? I don't know. We don't know the whole story, y'all, but it did come out she had cardiac arrest. Was it an overdose? I don't know. But all I know is what she was saying there was some real stuff. You can tell that it still haunted her. You know what I mean? And she didn't say the name, but, hindsight's 2020, should have said that name, but he's still in Hollywood doing it. That woman that led her down the stairs that she trusted is still in Hollywood doing it. That's why she didn't say the name. Imagine if it was Harvey Weinstein or Bill Cosby laying in that bed. She would have said it, right?
Are you booing because it says Joe's Pizza?
And then you see this.
No one is allowed to boo with these angels on stage. Oh, hey, New York. This is Binks. This is Maymay. And this is Chauncey Bear.
Hillary Duff's somebody they trust, right? Their mom trusts.
Platinum, and you're getting 50,000 a show. I've been there. There's a door that you could walk in. I'm not sure if it's homo or if it's Illuminati. I just didn't take that door. I went straight. What do you mean? Listen. When you get to a level of success, when you're getting 30, 40, 50,000 a show, you platinum, you running across the world. There's 3 different doors, right? There's 3 different ways to walk. There's to the left, there's to the right, and then there's straight. Straight is you're on your own. Let's see if you continue this success, young man. Okay. Let's see if it was all about your skills, young man. Let's really see that. Okay. And you went straight. To the right, I'm not sure if that's the homo shit right there. And then there's to the left, I'm not sure if there's some sacrifice shit going on right there. I'm not sure because I went straight.
Hasn't been platinum since, he
All
said.
these storms that's coming in right now, I believe God is trying to warn us there's something big coming. I believe God is trying to warn us. These storms is not happening on accident. Like, these storms is coming in with a purpose, and it's cutting off lights, it's damaging houses, it's damaging cars, these trees are falling, like these trees are falling easily. Like, it's something going on that God trying to warn us about. God is not playing right now. He's like, yo, y'all need to lock in with me. Because there's a bigger storm coming and y'all need to prepare. These trees are falling, y'all. Something really going on right now. And I don't know if y'all noticed this. Like, this is a spiritual battle right now. And I'm just trying to see, like, what's the warning? Like, this is crazy. This is like it's one of these times where we just gotta, like, you gotta lock in with them. Like, you have no other choice. If you don't have service, you don't got light, lock in with the Bible, lock in with him, pray it. You know what I'm saying? Do something, because I believe God wants us to be one. He wants us to win. He wants us to have these seasons where you're not stressed no more. And God just keep warning us over and over. Y'all stay prayed up.
He's got a point with these trees, y'all, because we had a very bad storm here like a week or two ago. I don't know why I didn't even think to film a TikTok to put on the video, but these Palo Verde trees, every year they fall, they break. My whole neighborhood has Palo Verde trees. They're always broken, right? Even a light one. But there is some trees, y'all, 50-year-old trees, big old, just big, hardy trees, y'all, all up and down the street, gone. That have been dealing with monsoon for 50 years, big storms, big microbursts, big wind gusts. And this year, I don't know why, y'all, this year, I saw a lot of news interviews of all these maintenance crews that own businesses. I said, I've been doing this 30 years. I've never seen a year like this before. How many times are we going to hear it? When I was out in El Paso, 2 years ago, dust storms, y'all, dust storms like no other. All the people that have been there their whole lives, never seen this before. Weatherman, Doppler Dave, anybody out there in El Paso that remembers these dust storms from a couple years ago, I've never seen it like this before. We've been hearing that constantly. I'm sure in your city, in your country, you have been hearing your weathermen, you've been hearing the locals saying, I have never seen this before and I've been here my whole life. Let me know down below your story. Mine was the dust storms 2 years ago, and then the trees falling down this year.
To pay attention to what's going on, because that volcano that erupted in Ethiopia hasn't erupted in 12,000 years.
That's crazy. Looks fake.
That shit was not supposed to happen. That volcano that erupted hasn't erupted since anybody on this earth lived on this earth. Mind you, this volcano just erupted out of the blue. So you telling me after 12,000 years, this shit just randomly erupted? Does that make sense to you? Villages completely dark. Numerous animals died. Ash shot almost 10 miles into the air. Mind you, this volcano is about 500 feet all the way up into the sky. This is the same volcano that erupted before the end of the Ice Age. This is the same volcano that erupted before. You ain't just say what I just said, right? Mind you, 40 other volcanoes erupted simultaneously. Now jump down that rabbit hole. What just happened in Europe? That volcano that was in Europe, that shit erupted too. The earth is definitely giving signs right now, and those signs do not look good. And I heard somebody mention this, but do you remember what the prophet said about fire rising near the Red Sea? Where's Ethiopia? I see everybody worrying about what technology gonna do, but you gotta remember this. There were civilizations that lived before us, and they didn't have the technology we had. But it seems like they knew way more than what we did. And if those prophecies are true, this volcano erupting, it's not a good thing at all. Pay attention.
So Chris Hansen is currently going viral because he got banned on Roblox while demonstrating how unsafe the platform is. You see, recently at CrimeCon, Chris Hansen was doing a panel with Schlepp to talk about Roblox and how dangerous it can be for kids. Now, despite what Roblox wants you to think, the platform still has a bunch of these Omegle-style chat room games, where creeps will just straight up ask you if you're freaky and try to move the conversation over to Snapchat, for example. But during the panel, Chris Hansen decided to play one of these games to show the thousands of people watching how easy it was to find these creeps on Roblox, and to nobody's surprise, he found them almost instantly. But the crazy part is that Roblox then decided to ban Chris Hansen's account live during the event, almost as if Roblox corporate was watching the event and just couldn't handle another PR disaster. But they somehow made the situation even worse for themselves because they decided to go after the guy exposing the creeps on the platform before doing anything about the creep himself or any of the games that were being exposed as well. It just keeps getting worse for Roblox.
Isn't it weird how every kind of strange, crazy thing that you thought could never happen is actually happening right now? In just about every aspect of life. Every single one. From fires, floods, earthquakes, daily, happening daily, to UFOs being seen in the sky, to the point where if you mention you saw one, happens every day. And then you get into the more day-to-day human aspect, like the economy, the prices of groceries, where people are barely surviving. Yeah, barely surviving. Along with social media itself, where you, the worst of the worst, get a lot of views and get a lot of screen time and are seen by a lot of people, or really the best of the best. The people in between, not so much. It's almost like everything that was predicted in prophecies long ago is happening right now. And it's getting hard to ignore for anybody. Even people who don't believe in that stuff, they can see it coming too. Look, I'm not saying this is the end of things. Not at all. Not even close. I'm just saying maybe people who had these prophecies, who saw the future, thought, this has to be the end. This has to be. Except it's not. It's just what we're going through right now, with more to come. Not to be gloom and doom, but do you ever feel this way? Because I feel it every single day now. It's like a wave of terrible stuff just keeps coming, and there's no end in sight, and it's to the point where you can only just laugh or hide. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just overthinking things. Maybe I'm putting stuff together that's not together. But I want to know what you think. Let me know your opinion in the comment section, Brewskis.
He's got to think about it, y'all. Watch any end of the world movie, and how does it start? We're living that. We're living the beginning of an end of the world movie, right? Riots, pandemics, economy, people doing crazy things on social media. People running into stores and pillaging and stealing and breaking and storms. We're living the beginning of the movie. That's the end of the world. Go watch 2012, the movie, and watch the beginning of that movie. Right when the credits are rolling, the intro credits, it's chaos, and that's what we're living. It's not all going to happen in one day. All this chaos, y'all. That is. They're showing you that in 10 seconds, but it's within 5 years of that happening. There's levels. We're getting there, y'all.
And if winter was real, why the fuck the birds ain't staying when it's winter? They ass go to where it's warmer, right? The real ones, right? Even
It's kind of crazy because thinking about 2012, and we're the ones that are in the RV at Yellowstone, y'all. That crazy guy, exposing everything, and we're the crazy ones, right?
The human, the synthetic ones, right? Because you remember I told you got birds that's drones, and then you got the real ones, and then you got the ones that just mixed in between. They not drones and they not real. They just there to fit in with more different species to confuse you, like geese and shit. They know when to go south, but what the fuck you think they using though? What you think they use? What you think they use? The electrical grid of the planet. They can see it. They can see it. So this grid, which is still in existence, we begin to lose size. We begin to go through a reverse metamorphosis. The same way the fucking the caterpillar go through metamorphosis and then becomes a butterfly. We went through the reverse metamorphosis. So we started going from that giant state that they spoke of in the ancient texts.
I had a heart attack. When I got to the emergency room, I was very close to death at that point. Less than 20 seconds after being on the gurney, I was gone. What it felt like was I went to sleep. But as soon as I closed my eyes, nothing stopped. I kept experiencing. I started coming out of my body and I could see from the above now.
Had this happened to you before?
Not like that.
What do you remember of leaving your body?
It was almost instant and it was seamless. I had no interest in my body. I was looking at everything, watching them defibrillate. I heard a phrase said, his body, his mind, and his ego is dead. I said, well, what am I now? Because I'm still experiencing. I remember having a really brief thought, dang, you blew it. Realizing that I had this opportunity, that was a life that I could have lived, that I spent the bulk of it just mad at the entire planet and not wanting to be there. I felt like I wasted that life.
Was there a tunnel?
There was no tunnel. I just shot up through space. I was in a void. It's extremely black, dense area. But I knew it was not on this planet. I knew I was in space. I was moving through this blackness. It felt like velvet. And it was communicating with me the entire time, like whispers, voices, images in my periphery. But when I turned my attention directly to the images that were in my periphery, they disappeared like smoke. I said, everything is here, but nothing is here. I knew that this was a source of physical reality. It even is connected to the other dimensions.
What you're describing is the best explanation that rabbis and priests and ministers tried to give to explain what nothingness is before God created something.
It was beautiful. It felt like home. I didn't want to leave the void. Every idea that entered my mind, the void responded. It would be twirls and colors. And if I had a question, I would instantly understand it.
You were interacting with it.
Yes.
Do you think your attention reanimated you?
The attention was what guided the experience. Wherever I put my attention, that's where my experience happened. I understood everything. I don't know how much space I was covering, but no matter how far away it would be like 3 little shakes and I would be there.
That's the description of how you can move through time and space without the limits of space-time.
You could say his consciousness was there.
I didn't want to go to the light. The light for me was extremely far away. But I knew it was the light because I couldn't stop looking at it, and it pulled me towards it. If I didn't travel, I could look out into space and see several of these voids in different places. So I understood that it wasn't just one void, but this void somehow seemed to be very connected to this experience. When I came out of the void, there was a star forming region. I was in the clouds. I stopped at the edge of where the stars were forming, and it felt like a nursery, and like I wasn't supposed to go in there and disturb that. So I watched it for a while. It was beautiful to just see the stars forming. I said, so this is where stars are born.
This is one of the most powerful indicators that something is happening.
It's like birth, right?
We die.
Did you know birds couldn't get wet? A lot of people don't know. A lot of people think, listen, I'm keeping real. Listen, only bird that can get wet is owls. Owls get wet.
Maybe because they don't come out in the rain.
No, owls get wet. But birds can't get wet. That's why a bird can go right down and get something out the water and be dry. Go grab a bird right after come out the water. I bet you it's dry.
Why you keep shaking your tail feather?
No, get real. Listen, birds, they stay dry and fish can fly.
Fish can fly.
I saw them a lot of people don't know.
Listen,
fish can fly. Listen, I'm saying, you think I'm playing? Listen, they studied this and they saw this, that fish. Listen, did you know when fear kick in, you can do a lot of things? When fish are afraid of sharks, they go so fast, they jump out the water and they fly for miles.
So you telling me I need to just get fur in me and I can fly away?
Do anything when you get fur in you. Right? A lot of people know fur is good. I love fur.
So less than 1 week of rain in the perfect spot to cause flooding, but not flooding that just ends in that spot, flooding that is attached to the White River. That flooding then continues down south, affecting town and city along the way, flooding and flooding and flooding, almost like the perfect storm. But wait a minute, it's just Mother Nature, right?
Have you been under a lot of stress?
No, it's not stress related.
Well, you don't know that. You don't know that because it could be subconscious stress that's showing up in this way, so you never know.
What would your next steps be for somebody in your own family? Like, what would you tell them
Honestly,
honestly, what would you tell that person?
honestly, I would probably ask them to find a really good therapist.
Once one doctor put in her notes that my symptoms were caused by anxiety, every single doctor put that all of my symptoms were from anxiety.
To a health alert about so-called medical gaslighting. That's when doctors inappropriately dismiss a person's health concerns.
A Metro Atlanta woman says her surgeon dismissed her complaints of pain and discharged her from the hospital. Days later, she was rushed back and diagnosed with a potentially life-threatening condition.
So I'm supposed to just live like this forever? I'm 26 years old. I can't even move. My life is miserable. I was in a wheelchair. I was fully disabled, yet doctors were still telling me that it was just anxiety.
Factitious disorders are conditions in which a person deliberately and consciously acts as if he or she has a physical or mental illness when he or she is not really sick.
Are they actually rare, or are they just been dismissed for years and years and years?
You just kind of feel like you're going down a rabbit hole.
This shouldn't have happened.
Imagine a world where instead of everybody knowing every single brand name and celebrity name, it was common knowledge that we all knew all of the bird species, all of the flora and fauna of our local native ecosystem. I guarantee that just about anybody can name 10 brand names, 10 celebrities, but I cannot guarantee that anybody can name 10 bird species or even 5 native plants that should be grown in their backyard. And this is deeply a problem. Because how can we protect the land, how can we protect our ecosystems if we absolutely know nothing about it? Sadly, we have become very distracted, and there are people upset about a TikTok relationship or a celebrity drama while data centers are going up everywhere, ecosystems are being destroyed, and we're not even upset. We don't even know anything about it because we're so distracted. And once you start learning, though, about the natural world, you start opening your heart to the beauty of life and understanding how incredible it is. You cannot turn a blind eye anymore. And that becomes very powerful because together, if we start caring, restoring our ecosystem, stewarding the land, really realizing we're all in this together, that is a very powerful energy. And I promise you, being tapped in with your local native ecosystem, bird watching, knowing the species that are all around you, the bird calls, the plant species, you learn to forage, you create native habitats where you live, and you are just rooted and connected to your local native ecosystem, is a very incredible energy. It is the way of the future. I believe it's a really potent medicine that we're all longing for deeply, even if you don't realize it. So please, let's build a world where we know more about our local native ecosystem than we know about some celebrity or big company brand name.
I mean, how selfish are we, right? We're worried about these data centers and all these things, and we're putting it on us. Like, we don't want to be mass, surveyed or anything, right? What about all the animals? That's their habitat. What about all the animals it's going to affect? What about all the plants it's going to affect? Like, just watching that clip made me want to be like, you know what? When I do move back to Texas, I would like to learn the land. I would like to learn the animals out there. And like, just watching that minute clip, that thing can make that big of a difference, y'all. And it made me realize, like, damn, we're selfish. Like, we're worrying about being surveillanced everywhere we go. You know what I mean? Like, what about all the other animals that, that are getting offed, and, the vibrations of that data center, what it's going to do to the ecosystem? Because we're all connected at the end of the day. We're all connected. We need the bees as much as they need us, Good clip. Good clip.
Watch this. $2.7 million just to become a dog. A 26-year-old Japanese billionaire reportedly spent a massive fortune transforming himself into a human-sized dog. And this wasn't just some Halloween costume. He reportedly went through an extreme transformation, then started walking on all fours, eating from a dog bowl, and even going outside on a leash wearing a spiked collar. Videos of him have been spreading across social media, and honestly, they're hard to believe. But what makes this even crazier is the amount of money involved. $2.7 million. That's enough to buy a mansion, a private jet, or live comfortably for years. Instead, he chose to spend it becoming a dog. Some people say it's his money and he can do whatever he wants, while others think this obsession has gone way too far. But if you had $2.7 million, would you really spend it to become an animal?
So just think about this for a minute. We get money from a private entity called the Federal Reserve, who prints up not money, but debt, right? It's a bank owned by other banks, the Federal Reserve, right? That's one. Then they give it to the bank give it to you, you go work for it only to give it back to them. Does that mean you work for free? And you pay taxes as well? And they just print up the debt and you pay taxes? Does that make sense at all? So just that alone, that concept alone of the monetary system is one big sham because it's all about control. You know, they want your energy, they want your time. It's not about the money because they took us off the gold standard. Petrodollar's gone. All these other things that gave it value is all gone.
So I think that's why they're having trouble keeping this system together, because it's not sustainable. Over some period of time, it's going to collapse.
Right.
It's like kind of a pyramid. I see it as like a pyramid scheme, basically. The Federal Reserve is at
For
some
sure.
point, it's going to.
You know, I can't stop. Every time I see his clips, I like his clips. I like what he says. But every time I see him, and then I see him on these big podcasts, like, they never invite me. They never invite any of us. And we all talk about this. There's other TikTok reactors that are like way bigger than I am. And you never see them on, you know, these type of guys' podcasts. You think you would, right? Because we got a lot of knowledge in these clips and these things by learning, by watching all these, right? But you always see them on this. And then I just always think about him saying, I was at a Hollywood party. I went to a Hollywood party, right? He said it. So then I'm like, oh, they're all connected. Like, they're all in the same little, you know, do you guys know what I'm trying to say? Like, I like his clips. I'm not going to stop putting them on here. There may be a day when I do, but for now, like, I enjoy his clips, the knowledge that he shares and all that. But every time I see him on someone's podcast, like, they're connected, y'all. They got a manager that's got him, and, you know, they're at those parties.
Shit up, it's a fucking witch right here walking behind my car trying to do voodoo on my fucking car. She got on all white. You can't make this up. It is a whole witch right here. Them pull over at the rest area. Look. Walking behind my car trying to curse my car. Now she trying to get out of the way. Yeah, now she trying to jump in her car now. It's a whole witch. Look. Look. A whole witch. Oh, she ain't trying to get in. She want to be seen. It's a whole witch walking behind my car. They don't follow me. I told you it's a black truck. It's a black truck right there. The truck right there. Where the fuck that truck at? The truck on this side. Hold the fuck up. No, I got her ass on camera. I'm telling y'all, they are paying witches to follow me. I'm telling you, they just tried to do a death magic ritual. Yeah, now the truck cranking up. Yeah, I'm telling you. Now the truck cranking up. Bitch walking behind my car trying to do a spell.
Now they're saying this literacy crisis isn't even just that kids can't read. It goes further. They're not figuring things out for themselves. They don't ask questions when they're stuck. They just don't know what to do next. Yeah, it's almost like being on an iPad nonstop during the years you're supposed to be learning shapes, colors, talking to people, and figuring stuff out had consequences. Who could have possibly seen this coming? Oh, wait, everybody did. Farmy or autocorrect will learn the typo instead of the word.
I mean, it could be that, or it could be their old system isn't working no more. You're not creating employees no more, right? We all say that about schools. That's all it is. It's a prison. They want you to go to college, go to debt, right? They stay in line. Don't raise your hand when you want to talk, when you want to go to the restroom, ask permission. Now these kids are like, I'm going to the restroom, right? It's like their old system isn't working. So is it a bad thing or is it a good thing? That's the question. Is kids not paying attention and kids not wanting to read these books and pay attention to this nonsense? Is that a bad thing or is it a good thing? They're panicking because they can't control them no more, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down below, because there's two ways to look at it, y'all. We can't say bash the iPads and all that and then say bash the school and what they're teaching them in school when these kids now ain't picking up. It's not comprehending with them. It's like the old nonsense. It's not working no more. You can't control us no more. What is it?
The wrap, Jack. UPS is offering buyouts to drivers for the first time in 117 years. And you can thank tech and AI for that one. So UPS said on Thursday that it's offering buyouts to full-time U.S. delivery drivers as a part of the company's largest network reconfiguration ever.
They want that union gone.
For the first time ever, in recognition of these unique circumstances, we are looking to offer our full-time U.S. drivers the opportunity to participate in a voluntary program that would provide an opportunity to receive a generous generous financial package if they choose to leave UPS. You should never sell out. But don't worry, the financial package that'll be available to the drivers will be in addition to any earned retirement benefits, including pension and healthcare. Trying to make it sweet. Now, the company added that each driver would have the ability to decide if this voluntary program is beneficial to their family and the plans they have for their future. Oh, how nice. Teamsters aren't having it. President Sean M. O'Brien said UPS's buyout plan is an illegal violation of the contract the union struck with the company that undercuts its agreement to create 22,500 more jobs. Yep, that's not happening. So I guess UPS said in late April that it would cut around 20,000 jobs this year as a part of a plan to lower costs and improve efficiency. So UPS I
think their goal is to kill us. Depopulation. They got to get rid of about 90% of us so they can live their happy fucking lives that they got planned.
Do you think it goes that
Oh, I
deep?
do. I know it. Yeah, absolutely. It's a UN agenda. It was 21 and now it's 30. Depopulation. And they take bets on how we're going to die, and then they get, their stock goes up. They go, oh, this many people are going to die from this shot. And, so they invest in it and get a bonus. And this many people are going to die from the cancers that we also have the cure for, and we get the money from the treatment. It's Auschwitz. It is 100% wall-to-wall Auschwitz. And that was their blueprint. And that's what I think. Absolutely.
How can you substantiate that?
Fact. If you go to, if you line up fact, and I can send you, I can't sit here and roll it off the top of my head, but yeah, I've kept records and I can send it to you. Just by what they do, by just listening to Klaus Schwab and the WEF, just rolling it down all the way from every UN act, everything that they do is to decrease the population. And they say it right in our face.
Yeah.
Well, they
Is
don't.
it just useful idiot shit? Well, they need them.
Well, of course they do. Canceled and destroyed and put in prison for 22 years. I mean, that is the fascist
You're talking about
machine.
January 6th.
Yeah, I am. But they took a picture and they're in there for 22 years. Yeah, it is a fascist, complete militarized state.
They killed Martin Luther King and then gave him a holiday. They killed Martin Luther King and then gave him a holiday. The government killed him and then celebrated him. Like, if you just think about that, man, there's no limits to the nefarious stuff that they'll do. They're gonna kill our leader and then celebrate him as if they didn't just kill us. You know what I mean? And I think if we just do a little bit of research, don't accept the surface level of everything that you're told. I mean, if you do your own research and you come to the same conclusion, then that's that's one thing, right? But trust but verify. Matter of fact, don't even trust. Just listen and then verify that. But I think we accept the simplified version because we're not gonna go do the research, bro. We got too busy working, too busy trying to get our next check, make it to the end of the month. Unfortunately, a lot of it.
Me and my wife got a water filtration system 3 or 4 years ago. It goes through this clear thing first. It used to take a couple of months for it to get nasty looking. It's 2-3 weeks now. The tank is brown.
And if you think about it, there's chlorines and fluorines and bromines, there's heavy metals, there's pharmaceuticals, right? Where does it go? Where people excrete all these pharmaceuticals they're taking into our water supply. There's fluoride. I mean, there's so much junk and toxins and pesticides, glyphosate. It's all in there. I don't ever drink tap water. People need to filter their water, but then you got to remineralize the water. You can make an argument that the decline of the human population over the last 6 years mirrors the loss of minerals from the soil, from our food.
I don't hang out with entertainers, no athletes.
Zestfully, zestfully clean. You're not fully clean unless you're zestfully clean.
He's a flaming hot sissy.
We can change what is going on right now, and only we can. Because it's obvious the people that we put in governmental positions are inept. And they're more worried about how fat their pockets are getting than they are about actually solving any sort of issues whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but there's guilt of that on both sides. That's not a one-sided thing. And I think that everybody should know the Constitution and the Bill of Rights forwards and backwards. And they don't teach that in school anymore.
No.
Did scientists find a 2 billion-year-old nuclear reactor?
They did find one.
That's the Aklo reactor. They found that in Gabon in West Africa. That was a uranium reactor. They discovered that the uranium ore there, which that's where it's mined, which had uranium-235. For some reason, it was throwing off U-235, which shouldn't happen. That's only a nuclear reactor would do that, to create that isotope as we knew it. But what happened there was the uranium back 2 billion years ago was much richer than it is now. I mean, much richer. And if you have enough seawater, salt water, that you pour into that thing, you can create fusion. That's just the science works. We couldn't do it now. The uranium is just too depleted. But back then, you definitely could. And I think that's, the conspiracy is that there were aliens that had a nuclear war and stuff like that. I don't believe that at all. I think it's way cooler that the Earth created a nuclear fusion reactor before there were humans. I think that's way cooler. And it didn't create that much energy anyway. We're talking maybe 20, 25 kilowatts. But it did it for years and years and years. It ran and then power down and come back on. It's a really strange story. Like, nobody thought that was possible.
Do you think it was just a natural occurrence?
I do.
This is a good follow-up to our last podcast, where the guest posed an idea about nuclear. Do you think nuclear bombs are real?
I do think they're real. Well, your guest didn't think they're real? I'm going to have to watch that. I don't think so.
Have you dove into that one? Or is that not crossed?
I don't think I've even heard that.
Huh.
Because we've seen nuclear tests. So does he think the nuclear tests that we on film are fake?
Yeah, he's shown videos of them and they did look a little weird.
I'm going to have to look into that. That's pretty fun.
Huh.
I hope he's right. It's great propaganda. You need coordination from enemy nations to do it, but I think there's some coordination, some level, enemy nations.
Right.
The top dogs?
I'd asked, when I had Tucker on, I was like, was it every country that we shut down for COVID? And it was like most of them. And I was like, well, that seems coordinated to an extent.
It certainly does. Yeah, I mean, enemy nations coordinated in Wuhan lab. That's certainly true. So why not coordinate on something else?
Right.
Everything. Certainly do.
And something I said about it was that, once a lie is told, if the person who told the lie dies, then the lie kind of sticks.
It kind of sticks.
There's no reason that, the current administration in office, like in China and Russia or U.S., would have to know that they're real. There's no reason that the president would have to know that a nuclear bomb is real necessarily.
No, he can go and see it, like a missile. He doesn't know what's in it. But I had never heard that story. But that's a pretty good one. I hope it's true.
You hope it's true? Why would you hope it's true?
That there's no such thing as nuclear weapons?
Oh, because you don't have to worry about the threat of nuclear warfare.
And in the
that is what the guest did say. He said that's why he cared about that specific conspiracy theory, because he's like, I'm glad I know this one because I don't have to have that anxiety anymore.
Well, people my age, Gen Xers, that was our biggest anxiety. We thought the nuclear war was going to start any day. That's how we grew up, with just low burning anxiety all the time about the Soviet Union. That's how we grew up, is that the missiles are coming. We would do drills in school under the desk. It was scary. That was it. That was the only thing that bothered Gen X. That's why we're so chill now. It's like, we lived through the Cold War. This is easy. We had Michael Jackson. Things were good. Our parents were never around. It was awesome.
Michael Jackson.
1980.
That's the pinned comment, y'all. Do you guys think they're real? I personally don't. I don't think they are. I think by now, right, somebody with bad intentions would have got their hands on it, because money talks, y'all. You got the right amount of money. Allegedly, look what they did for 9/11. Trillions of dollars gone. Look what they did to cover that. Allegedly. Right? So you can't tell me if somebody had the right amount of money talks, that they couldn't get their hands on one of those from somebody, right? One of these dealers out there. There's a lot of dealers out there. We've seen people, I forgot what base it was. Was it in San Diego and they stole some drones? Just some regular people went into a military base and stole drones. Remember that? Whatever came from that. But anyways, if somebody wants it, where there's a will, there's a way.
Fried crack came. First thing they did was take the black woman out of the household by putting on the street. Foster care went up 80-something%. Here comes CPS in the ghetto. 20 years later, them little kids get emancipated from foster care. That's 2005. That little girl started calling me and daddy because she ain't had no daddy. Come on. Now she traumatized and she been abandoned. That little girl, 2005, same little girl who mama left in 85, had a baby. 20 years later, it's 2025. So a traumatized little girl who felt abandoned had a baby. and that little baby grew up, and 20,000, 25, 26, that's the little baby you're dealing with. So we have to get our children, in my opinion, to talk to us about their pain.
Yeah.
Damn, pull your pants up. They getting ghost guns in the mail.
Yeah.
They got every form of temptation. They only one button from it. We grew up with encyclopedias.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And Penthouse and Playboy. They one button from temptation, bruh. This is the most dangerous generation there is once we get them to tell us their pain so the healing process can begin.
Yeah.
So that's why I call myself light-skinned Luther, so they can laugh when they meet me, say this old black joker crazy. And then I tell them about my war story so they can have a little sense of I might can tell them a little bit about.
Daylight savings.
I mean, a little tip for you parents out there that, you know, maybe have a young one, a child that you don't know what's wrong with them. So he's, you know, he's sad, he's depressed, you know, something like that. I'll tell you a thing with me, with a family member of mine, all we want to talk about is a deep conversation about our pain, right? Like like with my family, I can speak on it. They never wanted to talk, even to this day. Like if I try to say like, man, I'm like dealing with mental health, whatever, it's not an easy conversation, but that's all I want. Just a deep conversation about life. You know what I mean? Like I even have a family member that, you know, when we get together, we just talk life. She's had her hard times. I've had mine, and it's a good conversation. And she leaves a lot better. I leave a lot better. It's like going to therapy, right? But when we try to open up and our close ones aren't good at those conversations, like I'm just saying, y'all, anybody that's got any family member going through that, doesn't know what's going on, I'm telling you, put your, not your ego, but put your uncomfortableness to the side and just have a deep conversation. Go for a drive. You know, that's the best conversations right there. And just have a deep conversation. Go for a walk and have a deep conversation. And I promise you, you know, that'll help them out because that's all they're looking for at the end of the day, most of the time.
Really crazy when you think about it, because who the fuck got the power in the world to say, all right, we're going to change the time for everybody on this day? I really think deep on that shit. That's why I don't even do conspiracy videos no more, because it's like, nigga, I ain't trying to start no motherfucking revolution, boy. They got that much power, they gonna bust your motherfucking skull wide open, boy. That's like, think about it. Think about how much power you really got, though. That's on some Madden type shit. Like how you could change the before the game in Madden, you could change whether you play in the afternoon or the night or the morning. Yeah, somebody can really say, okay, on this day, we gonna change the time. Then the time be going, what, either up or back for an hour, but it get dark 3 hours early.
It's coming up.
Oh, you know what? Hey, let me just focus on me get this motherfucking money, because these niggas running this bitch like it's a, hey, they running this bitch like it's a video game, boy. This shit is simulation for real. It might not be like these conspiracy niggas on TikTok say, but they running the fuck out of this bitch. Way more than we know. And at this point, you know what? I don't even want to find out no more. They got it.
Truth in Children's Books. Interesting. The first book of Airplanes by Jan Bendick. Copyright in 1958. What do you know? And you want to know what this book says? It says sometimes when rain has been badly needed for a long time, a pilot will turn his plane into a rain-making machine. When meteorologists say that the clouds are right, the pilot goes up and seeds them with a special chemical. Very interesting. I'm sure they want kids to know this. And what else does this book show you? You'll be surprised to see what else it shows you right here. It shows you a flat map. That's right. Because why would they put this in a children's book if it didn't have any significance? Just think about that. And just think about the route that they're showing you, this line, right? Because we all know the inversions that they've done from the globe Mercator projection, right? It says that now a plane can fly the back line from New York to Tokyo. Yeah. Because if you showed you this route on the Mercator projection, you would understand that it doesn't make any sense for the plane to fly this type of route. And it says right underneath the image there, 100 years ago, you would have traveled the dotted black line from New York to Tokyo, which doesn't make any sense at all. The first book of Airplanes, Truth in Children's Books by Jan Bendick. Civil Aeronautics Administration.
I'm going to tell y'all something that I learned about the funeral business. When families don't have the financial means to put their loved one away, the number one enemy becomes the funeral home. they take all their frustrations out on the funeral home. I watched a video yesterday of someone recording themselves during an arrangement conference, and the funeral director is going through the pricing, and they're huffing and puffing, sucking their teeth and everything. Let me tell you something. Funeral homes are not obligated to render any services without payment first. At the end of the day, take the emotions, take the grief out of it. At the end of the day, a funeral home is a business. I don't care how you look at it. You can't get mad at the funeral home because your mama or your daddy or your husband or your wife did not have life insurance. That's not how life works. Everybody knows that funerals are expensive. Everybody knows that. It costs to die. But y'all still don't prepare yourselves. I mean, like I said, I made a video a few weeks ago, telling everybody how much life insurance I had. If I died today, my wife is set. She's set. She ain't got to worry about nothing. Peace of mind all the way through. She can put me away nice and still live comfortable afterwards.
Knew this, y'all. Damn, maybe it's a bad thing.
Japan has the same.
Maybe it's a bad thing. We just had that conversation earlier. Like maybe, but I mean, there's no conversating. You're not talking to your, hey, watch this. None of that, y'all. It's like, watch this. Throw something at the teacher. Or we used to have OCD teachers, and we'd go, before she got in there, we'd go mess her desk up and go back and sit down like nothing and watch her put everything back. There's none of that, y'all. Straight to your desk, sit. Damn, maybe it is a bad thing, right? What do you guys think? Now looking at that, I can't say it's a good thing no more, right?
Obesity they had 100 years ago. You think, well, how did they do it? And it's very simple. The way it works is all food in Japan, by law, in schools, has to be prepared on the day by a professional nutritionist who works for the school. Even the paste in it has to be made fresh on the day from fresh ingredients. No processed food allowed. And so I'm chatting to them as they're eating this incredible food. And I'm like, what's your favorite food? My favorite food is white boiled rice. And I was like, all right, who's this little freak? I move on to the next one. This little girl, she said, my favorite is white fish. I turned to Chie, my translator, and was like, are these kids trolling me, right? Their favorite food is like white rice. She just looked completely puzzled and said, well, what do you mean? I pulled up on my phone on YouTube, Jamie's School Dinners, and showed them what British kids eat.
Western civilization.
They were just like stunned, horrified, puzzled. We can be like that, right? We can invest in teaching our kids to love healthy food. Obesity is not inevitable in the modern world. Japan is a modern country with almost no obesity.
Western world. This is where our money goes. It's a nonsense. Making it easier on them. Pretty soon they're going to have a robot doing that needle. That's what they're prepping for. Right? That's where it's heading.
And all that other shit is to control you. If the churches took half the money that they was making and gave it back to the community, we'd be all right. If they take half the buildings that they use to praise God and gave it to motherfuckers who need God, we'd be all right. We'd be all right. Have you seen some of these goddamn churches lately? It's ones that take up the whole block in New York. It's homeless people out here. Why ain't God letting them stay there? Why these niggas got gold ceilings and shit? Why God need gold ceilings to talk to me? Why do God need colored windows to talk to me? Why God can't come where I'm at, where he sent me? If God wanted to talk to me in a pretty spot like that, why the hell he sent me here then?
That's why they off them.
That make ghetto kids not believe in God. Why? So that's wrong religion. I believe in God.
I think alcohol will be viewed in 20 years like we view cigarette smoking in the 60s. We're just starting to understand the harmful effects of cigarettes and tobacco in the 60s, and now it's well understood that that's dangerous for your lung health. I think probably the same is coming for alcohol and brain health. I'm more a believer of good living, the clean living. I think it boils down to the basics that you know and preach in your work, and it's sleep, exercise, diet, social interaction. I think these are the key things that healthy living is really all about.
But you know that back during the 20s, 30s, Black Americans were not allowed to drink vanilla ice cream?
Wait a minute.
They were not allowed to drink because it was pure white. It was for white people.
So black people were not allowed to
eat or buy or
consume ice cream in any way.
Vanilla ice
cream specifically.
Yeah. They started roasting butter pecans, and then they poured it inside the vanilla ice cream and mixed it, and then just to get a different flavor and it looked darker, and then they were allowed to eat it like that. So they invented butter pecan ice cream.
I'm allergic to pecans actually, but I eat buttered pecan ice cream because it's amazing.
They don't want us to know all this stuff.
How fucking racist, bro.
Fuck vanilla ice cream, bro. I never liked vanilla ice cream.
I don't either.
So the last 20 years,
I need some chocolate in that.
I love rock and roll.
Anyways, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. We had some good conversations today. Today was a fun video. I had a good time with you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. You made it this far. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Y'all, second channel down below. We did a deep dive on the Idaho 4 documentary on Netflix. Make sure you guys go. The link is down below. You guys always say, where's this channel? I can't find it. Link is down below. It's Segovia After Dark. That's the name of the channel. If you type it in the search engine, Segovia After Dark, it'll pop up. But if you watch this video all the way to the end, the last 10 seconds, there's going to be a screen that pops up. It's going to have a video, my TikTok playlist over here for this channel. Then I'll put that Idaho 4 down here for you guys to click on and go watch it, y'all. It's a good video. You know, I'm going to be moving in a few days, like a week. So once we get over there, the goal is to get consistent on my second channel, y'all. Start doing TikToks, put it on Facebook. I got a lot I need to do, y'all, but it starts with me. But anyways, y'all, make sure you guys hit that like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow for another one. This is Segovia. I got a lot of editing. A lot of these videos had music on it, so I got to do a lot of muting of those clips. So I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Y'all have a good one. Later.